morning, it's Thursday the 23rd of February 2012. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk. Lots of your emails coming up. They're a little bit old now because, of course, I was off for nearly 2 weeks with the flu, but all recovered now, so we'll get through some of those today. A couple of items. Oh, I've taken another disco booking. I've taken a booking on the mobile phone, dear, for someone's 21st birthday in a couple of weeks, and I'll share this with you. I asked, usually if I'm going to do a mobile disco, wedding or something like that for someone, I will ask for sort of, a list of records, and you kind of expect sort of 25, perhaps 30 songs, to arrive in an email or something like that. Well, this girl, what's her name? Natasha. Natasha's 21st birthday. Lovely girl, speaking to her on the phone. She has sent me a list of 116 tracks. God's sake. And it's a family do, so you have your 21st birthday party and then mums and dads come and nans and people like that. But on this list, I've got to say, speaking sort of from the point of view of realising who's going to be there, some of the music is quite jarring, I have to say, and I can't lie to you, I don't know a lot of it. I mean, I always manage to get hold of everything that someone wants before the do. Whether or not I'll play it, I don't know. I need to have a word with her. But there's a lot of stuff I don't know. See if you know some of these, some of the young people who are watching and listening to the show. Teach Me How to Dougie, the Dougie Boys. Do you know that one? Hot Right Now, DJ Fresh, Flex, Dizzy Rascal. What else have we got here? While Out, DJ Zinc. There is actually, perhaps there isn't as much as I thought. Oh yes, there's Elephant Man there. We got Shaggy. We got Macarena. In the Air, Flow Rider, don't know that one. And then there's just a Jungle Skank. I mean, what's that? Jungle Skank, I don't know what that is. So there we are. I don't know what to say on that, really. I thought I'd share that with you. But some very odd songs in it. I've listened to them, and some of them are a little bit jungle, you know what I mean? And usually, jungle or anything that's really heavy R&B, you sort of want to really avoid at a wedding or something like that. But it's a 21st party, so we'll see what happens. And we'll try a couple of them out. I am there to play what the customer requires, not what I think should perhaps or perhaps not play. But you see, we might play some of those and find that, you start getting all these complaints from people and what have you. So we'll have to play that one by ear. So a nice little birthday party I've got to do in a couple of weeks. A couple of news items. Very, very sad that one of our most respected journalists, she works on the Sunday Times, her name's Marie Colvin, and also a young boy, a young French boy, Remy Ochlik, I think that's how you say it, Ochlik, have both died in Syria while reporting on the stories and the dreadful things that are going on there. Apparently they had this makeshift media centre, where all the reporters and photographers and all that stay. And whether or not it was under direct attack, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, the place got bombed and these two died. So very, very sad there. Marie Colvin, she was a very respected American Sunday Times reporter. So it's the American version, I beg your pardon. And she was already wounded from another incident a little while back. And I think she lost an eye because she's got a black eye patch on there as well. It's dreadful. And not only her, I'm looking at her picture, she's probably about 42, 45 years old, very respected in America. But not only her, but a young French lad, let me see if I can find his name for you there. Yeah, Remy, that was it. He looks, I mean, my word, he can't be much older than sort of 25 or 26, and he was just out there trying to take pictures for newspapers and things, I mean, that's their job. And it's very, very sad when people who are nothing to do with the war are killed in that way. You know, they are only there to tell us what's going on, and for them to die, it's very, very sad, especially the boy, you know, 26 years old, whole life ahead of him, and it's just gone like that. So very sad. Also in the news, I'm very pleased to see that Adele won some more awards at the Brits the other night, so well done, Adele. And it just goes to prove, boys and girls, that you don't need to be 10 inches of makeup on and breasts sticking right out, hardly any clothes and as thin as a rake and all that. You don't have to be these things to have to be popular, you know? She done it on her talent, and bloody good to her too as well. I'm so pleased she won. I'm not a huge Adele fan. I mean, to me, she's just another singer. Okay, just another singer to me. That's not a put down at all. She's a very, very respected singer and a very good singer. For me, she's sort of part of the whole music thing. You know, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb to me. But clearly, these people who vote at the Brits thought so, and she won lots of awards. And of course, she won awards at the other thing. Was it the Grammys or something like that the other day as well? So fantastic to hear from her. And there's one in the eye for some bloke, Karl Lagerfield. Or Lagerfield. I don't know what it is. Karl Lagerfield or Lagerfield, who just a couple of weeks ago said that Adele was fat. It's not very pleasant, really, you know, to come out and say that something about someone is fat. And he has since apologised in the Daily Mail on the 10th of February. It says Karl Lagerfield has apologised. I mean, more like Lager, actually, more like Lagerfield, because that sort of talk is a bit loutish, isn't it? You know, to call someone fat like that. Anyway, Karl Lagerfield has apologised. Whether she's fat or not doesn't make any difference. Why did he have to say that? You know, she's a very popular singer. Apparently he's apologised to Adele after calling the singer too fat. The fashion guru has insisted his comments were taken out of context, adding that he is the singer's biggest fan. And then there is a picture of him. You know, there's a picture of him. And for him to pick faults into someone like Adele, you know, and then you look at his picture, he's one of the ugliest person I've ever seen in my entire life. He really is. He's about 200 years old. He's as thin as a rake. In this particular picture, he's dressed all in black with these leather things. Presumably it's some you know, fashion thing. It just makes me laugh. How these people in fashion, they come on with all these strange clothes and they actually think it looks good. No, they don't. You look like prats. Especially you, Mr. Karl Lagerfield. Well, call you Lager. I don't care if your name is Lager. I'll call you Lagerfield because you're a nasty piece of goods to come on and say something like that about someone who has so much talent. I mean, I'd never even heard of this bloke. Never even heard of this bloke. He's there all dressed in black, black bow tie, white hair, and God, he's ugly. Why hasn't someone gone? Here you are, 78 years old this bloke is. 78, he looks like he's just come out of a coffin. He absolutely looks like he's just come out of a coffin. And he's got this leather thing on his hands. I don't know what he looks like. I mean, he's one of those sort of people, you can imagine him hanging from a sling somewhere in a leather sling or something like that, can't you? And all sorts of people gathered around him doing various... He's just the most vile-looking person I've ever seen in my life. He really is, and I don't know how he's got the audacity to say something like that about someone else. So there we are. News on my... oh, did you have your pancakes Tuesday, incidentally? I'm afraid I cheated, yes. I cheated on Pancake Day, and I went up to the local supermarket, and I bought a packet of pancakes. I'm sorry, I did. I bought a packet of 6 pancakes, and I cut them open with scissors and shoved them in the microwave. Oh, it's so much easier. And I got through an entire little yellow lemon bottle of that Jif stuff, you know, the lemon juice that you can buy in a bottle. It's very, very lazy, I know, and some sugar. And they were very, very tasty on that Tuesday for Shrove Tuesday, which of course means it's Lent now, boys and girls. Now, the thing is, what have you given up for Lent? I thought not. You haven't given up anything, have you? You have to give up something for Lent now. Something. I've decided to give up crisps. Oh, yes. And you know how fond I am of my crisps. I've given up crisps, all flavours, all types, frazzles, anything like that that comes out of a little bag and goes crunch, crunch, crunch. I've given those up for Lent. So that's my thing, giving it. What have you given up for Lent? Anything yet? I know it's a bit late. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can do it again now. Come on. You need to give up something for Lent. For 40 days and 40 nights, you need to give up something before Easter. Now, what's it going to be? Let me know so that I can keep an eye on you, okay? My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. What are you giving up for Lent? Let me know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. My best friend Ronny at the moment is away on holiday. He actually comes back Saturday. He's been away for a while now. He's with his other half, Andy. They are in Dubai. He quite likes it there, Dubai. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. I mean, it's all like big concrete hotels and posh shopping centres and restaurants and all that. I mean, I think you can go to London and do that. You know, although apparently tomorrow, I've just had a FaceTime with him. Isn't it wonderful, FaceTime, those of you who got the Apple iPhone? I do like to have FaceTimes with people, and it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't sort of really cost anything. And he's in his hotel room giving me a little FaceTime, and I can see him, and we're talking, and he's showing me the hotel room, and it's all very nice. You know, to go all that way and for shopping and eating in restaurants, I just don't get it. I really don't. I can't be going to Dubai, you know, people having their heads cut off and camels walking around and spitting at people all the time. I mean, it's not my cup of tea at all, Dubai. I'm sorry, dear. It's really not. Not only that, but once again, him and his boyfriend managed to get upgraded on the Virgin Plains. How does he do it? That's the second time. Last time he was on Emirates, and that was a Dubai trip as well. Every time he goes on these trips, somehow he manages to get upgraded to upper class. You know, I go on a plane. Well, I've never, ever been upgraded to go anywhere. When I go to Australia, I get the business class seat. I have to save up for it. No one upgrades me for nothing. It just seems so bloody unfair. How do you do it? Have you been upgraded before? How do you do that? Do you go to the desk, or can I be upgraded? Because, you know, quite frankly, if I was on a desk and someone said to me, could you upgrade me, please? That would immediately make me say no. So how do you go about getting upgraded? Have you been upgraded before? Because it's not fair. Why does he keep getting upgraded all the time? He only pays for the economy seat. It's outrageous. Can you let me know any secrets on that, please? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right. Here come the emails then. Hello to Robert in Iceland. Sent this, a good 10 or 11 days now. Dear Chris, I've been giving some thought to the breakup of the United Kingdom, which could possibly happen in a few years' time if Scotland decide to come out. Accepting that this is going to happen because it has that sort of feel to it, almost an inevitability. You know what, Robert? I have to say I agree with you. I have a feeling that this is going to happen. I think it would be a great shame. I do not want the United Kingdom to be split up. I think it's all quite nice, you know, nice that we're all together doing our thing together, even though doing it in our own way. But I too do feel that at some point we're going to be split up here. He says, this, of course, on a larger scale, is for all practical purposes a divorce, and this is usually a messy process, even when both sides are determined to do their best to avoid such issues. I think that indeed Scotland must have a vote on this. But what about the English, Welsh or Irish? Stage one, I would suggest, would be to ask all of the peoples of the United Kingdom. And should one or more country wish to go it alone, then that must be the ruling factor. In short, no country should have the right to stop another country from wishing to depart the family. Yes, agreed. Agreed, but I think it's just such a shame. Such a shame that one would want to divorce like that. It will be interesting to see the Scottish will at some point have this vote, and it will be interesting to see what they decide to do. I think it would be a great, great shame. A great, great shame. Robert says, living away from the country, one does get to see a different perspective on the English. A bit of snow and the news reports that only in Britain does the whole country grind to a halt, which indeed it does. Sorry, my friends, it is not so. Actually, considering all of the problems you have to deal with then, I would say you do a darn good job. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert in Iceland. There is a fondness for the English here in Iceland, and I'm talking from experience. England on its own would still have a role to play in the world, and perhaps the future for an independent England might be rather good. Perhaps it may be that we leave the family of Britain and join a family called Europe. And Europe will be what its peoples want it to be, and if we can be more assertive and positive in all our dealings with the rest of Europe, then great. Because while we dilly and dally on the sidelines, the rest of the world is moving on. Our close friends in America will turn their attention to the Pacific. We need to cultivate and educate our people. Hey, why not embrace your Nordic past and come and join us? Remember, King Canute was a Viking. It is in you, our blood, so smile. Put on those Viking hats with the horns and push the longboats into the sea. It's time for some raiding. Sorry, Chris, but I hate to end on a serious note because I might lose my credibility as being nutty as a fruit bat. Well, I still hear voices, and most of my friends are elves. I would write more, but it is a full moon and they won't let me out at nights. Talk about overreacting. I mean, it was once only, for heaven's sake. Well, just some thoughts, and I hope I haven't offended anyone. Regards from Robert. No, of course you never offend anyone, Robert. Everyone should have their say. I personally do not think that we should integrate with Europe. I never have done. I think we're quite fine on our own. Thank you very much. And we shouldn't be joining the Euro at any point. I think the UK is the UK. And I think France is France and Germany is Germany. And I do think that every country should retain its sovereignty. I really do. I do not like this idea of a Europe. I mean, look what's happening in Greece. Haven't they got a prime minister in there now who's got to run the affairs? And he's not even been voted in. He's been slung in there by the Eurocrats. How is that democracy? You know, it's not, is it? I just feel so sorry for the Greek people. On the other hand, they've had it very good for a very long time. But with what? With money that's been borrowed. You know? It's all very well saying they shouldn't have borrowed it. You shouldn't have lent them the money. Should you? I'm just totally against a Europe. I really am. I like people from other countries. But I do not like us all pushed into one unit and saying, right, you've got to do this, and we've all got to do the same thing. It's just ridiculous, ridiculous. Hello to Jessie BT, who says, oh, Chris, you mentioned Barry Manilow. Well, guess what? He is here in Chicago doing his show. This was a week or so ago. But the poor dear got sick and had to cancel out the last show. And I think went on to the hospital. I hope he's all right. Yes, Barry Manilow, I think, had hip replacement. You know, and that takes some getting past, that does. If you have a hip replacement, it takes a long time to recover from that. And I think he thought he'd be all right, and he's not. Jessie BT says, hey Chris, I'm a fan of the late Miss Phyllis Hyman. Just love her singing. Oh, I like that song. You know how to love me. That song, you know that one, Phyllis Hyman? But can you take a guess who she had as a lyricist? Who other than Barry Manilow? I just learned that while watching one of Phyllis's Lifetime stories. Well, I didn't know that. Phyllis Hyman, great soul singer, she really was. Still is, you know. So I've got my cup of tea here. Of course, the throat is still not quite right. I still have little coughing fits and things like that. What else have we got here? Ah, young Sean Ritchie says, I love the flag that you're using at the end of some of your shows now. Looks very professional. Thank you, Sean. You see, it all costs money, dear. There's no expense spared for the increasing quality of this little programme. Who knows, one day we may even be in high definition. which is a bit why I'll have to start wearing makeup then to hide the lines. I mean, you can't really see those lines in my eyes because the camera I use isn't a high definition camera at all. Yeah, but if I get close, perhaps you can get a bit closer to the camera. You can see my. You can. Yeah, when I get close, you can see them, can't you? Those of you that are listening to the show, just listening, don't forget you can also watch it if you want to. Simply go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk and you can watch the show as well as listen to it. All right, all the shows there going back 6 years now. Not all in video. I think the last 2 years worth of video. Okay. Hello to Carl Waring. Hello, Carl, who says, RE, the carbonless paper. Yes, we've got the carbonless paper here. Where is it now? Carbonless paper. Wonderful. The idea is you write on the top and it comes through onto the pink sheet at the bottom, right? And you don't need any carbon paper, but you've got to you've got to do it the right way around and use the paper that's in there. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And then if you're like me, you then spend an hour on the phone to Rank Xerox telling them that their paper doesn't work properly. Carl says, RE, the carbonless paper, bet you feel silly now. Of course that's how it works. Why do you think they'd supply the white paper otherwise? Well, yeah, but you don't know that. They should have instructions on the top of the paper, shouldn't they? Huh? I think young Tom Harris wrote in about that as well somewhere. Let me see if I can match these emails up together. Where are you, Tom? Tom, are you hiding from me? There's an email here from Tom Harris. Maybe it's still on the printer. I know there's one here. Just a second. Because that was referring to that as well. Come on, Tom. Where are... There we are. Here we are. Here we are. I knew it was here. I knew it was here. Tom Harris writes, I was amused by your carbonless paper story, as I spent years dealing with that stuff on a daily basis. Well, you see, you know. How do you know unless you're told, dear? The way it works is that the white copy... Here we are. Get a piece out. Got to get 2 pieces. The white copy has a special coating on the back of the sheet, and the pink copy has a similar coating on the front. The technical terms are CF, coated front, and CB, coated back. And CFB, can you guess what that means? Coated front and back? Aha! See? I'm learning. I'm learning. As long as you have the coated sides facing each other, you will have no problem. Probably the stuff you've got is a sheet of CF and a sheet of CB. If one of those gets flipped over, you might have the same problem as when you try to use lined paper. If used properly, you don't even need a pen or pencil to write on the bottom copy. Just scratch the top sheet with your fingernail. Minutes of fun for the whole family. You see, it's so much cheaper than a board game. Just get a packet of carbonless paper. Anyway, I'm still a loyal listener and I never miss an episode, even if I sometimes listen to them a week late. So thank you for that, Tom. Yeah, so we got our white and pink paper here, okay? So what we'll do, right, this is the way it should be. So if I just scratch that with my fingernail at the top then, no, I'll use a pen. You scratch, make a little pen mark at the front there, a little pen mark there, and underneath we should have, okay? We should have, there we are, we should have a mark, see? Now, let's see what happens if I turn the white paper over like that, okay? This time I will make I'll draw a little 0 on there. Draw a little 0 in the corner, and has that come through? No. See, it's not come through. So there you are, it is actually critical that you have that paper the right way round or it just doesn't work. So thank you for that, Tom. Yes, James, hello James, says, hi Chris, Toyota seem to be quite helpful from what you were saying. I think they have an advert on the radio at the moment saying they are offering a fixed price for fixing your car. That's correct, yes. Well, that's for the servicing. I heard it on LBC. Hope all goes well with the CB radio. I know it can be quite fiddly to put up, but it will be fun in the end, from James. Car news, well, I rang the car people this morning. As always, very helpful. I've got a temporary car at the moment that they provided me with. And they are now telling me that they've sent one of the injectors off for inspection at the specialist. And they're wondering if that's what... Because they still can't find this diesel leak. There is a diesel leak in my car engine somewhere. They've now had it for 2 weeks and they don't seem to be able to find it. So they've now sent a part off to the Toyota specialists, and hopefully I'll hear about that later on, James. CB radio, yes, that is now all set up downstairs, and I have spoken to a couple of people already. James, you might be interested to know that the furthest one was about 19 miles away, so that's not bad at all. I've got a nice big area on the side of the house, which I'll take some pictures. It's a bit wet today, and of course I was too ill to take the pictures last week. But yes, I'll take some pictures of the aerial and my little setup for you as soon as I can sort of get out with the camera. And then I'll show you my little CB setup, all right? Good news from Millie in Minnesota at last. Her crisps have arrived. She says, "Hi, Chris, just wanted to know you to know that the Walker's cheese and onion crisps you sent me arrived in the post today. Thank you, darling." That's all right, Millie. There you are. We aim to please, my dear. We aim to please. And finally today... 2 more emails, one from American Cutie Pie who says, "Dear Chris and all the people of the UK, I am ever so happy to accept any or all donations of financial assistance that India has refused." Because you remember the story a couple of weeks ago with India saying they didn't need our money anymore, it's just a drop in the ocean, or words to that effect. That's fine. Fine, we won't bother sending you anymore. Thank you for being so bloody ungrateful. That's all I can say. Thank you for being... It's a little bit like... And I'm sure you've done this, boys and girls. You know, when you're a child and perhaps at Christmas you get a present and, you know, or something like that, and you don't really like it, and you say, oh, what's that? You know, you should, you know, at Christmas or birthdays and things like that, even if you get something you don't like, you should pretend that you're pleased with it. It's only decent, isn't it? Well, India turned around a couple of weeks ago and says, "Thanks very much, but, you know, your money is just a sort of drop in the ocean." Words to that effect. You know, so why do we bother bloody well sending it then? Don't send any more. It's just because I wouldn't send any more, would you? I actually hurt. It's not even, I don't even feel it's rude. I feel that was quite a hurtful remark. I am hurt as an English person that someone from another country who we've been sending a bit of cash to has come out with something like that. Fine, we won't send any more. But American Cutie Pie has kindly said that she is happy to accept the money that India are refusing. So we might send it to you instead, my darling. Thank you in advance for any donations. Sincerely, Lisa in Cashless, California. Oh, California. Are you still having power cuts there? I seem to remember that a couple of summers ago you kept having power cuts. Finally today from Jessie BT who says, "Chris, in regards to your emails, because sometimes I do repeat emails, I forget. Why don't you just highlight the ones you've already read off? That way you wouldn't have your double reading them, just a thought." It's not that so much. What happens is that I print them off and then I forget to delete them from the main computer. And then I might read them out. And then a couple of weeks ago, I might be sort of, you know, sitting at a computer like this and going through emails and things and what have you. Oh, I wonder if I don't think I've read that. Then I'll print it off and read it again. And that's why I keep slipping up like that. So sorry about that. Another one of my many faults, I'm afraid. Anyway, time to go. Thanks so much for watching and listening to the show today, boys and girls. Don't forget to join in by email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Plenty more of your emails to get through on the next couple of shows that you've kindly been sending in over the last couple of weeks. All right, see you on the next one. Bye-bye.